What's going on, guys, and welcome back to another BFR. Game 60 at the Ottawa Senators, the Hawks really showed resilience. They faced adversity, and they were able to overcome it in a 6-3 victory over Ottawa. They moved to 22-30-8. Shots were 28-23 Chicago. Hits were 25-19 Ottawa. Faceoffs were 28-20 Chicago. Chicago is 1 for 3 on the power play. Ottawa goes 0 for 1. I think it was Star Wars night in Ottawa, as Star Wars music was constantly playing. Fleury saves 20 out of 23. Forsberg saves 22 out of 28. The Hawks were looking for a win after being robbed by the Bruins, and robbed in Boston in general. The Sens have not beaten Chicago since 2016. Forsberg and Gaudette were former Hawks on Ottawa. Gaudette was on the team earlier this year before he was claimed off waivers. March 12th, 6 p.m. was face-off. DeHaan was in his hometown. Entwistle and Caleb Jones were in. Borgstrom was out. There were 11 forwards, 7 defensemen. And what we got was pretty scary from a Hawks perspective. Early in the first, Murphy is hit along the boards, and it's boarding. Medical staff called immediately. He was slumped over, and then he just collapsed from my point of view. He was stretchered off, respectful applause as he was stretchered off, and he was moving, gave the thumbs up, his feet were moving on the thing. And that happened at 17:20, so 2 minutes and 40 seconds in. It was an Ottawa penalty to Parker Kelly, 5 minutes for boarding, which was served by Gaudette. Kelly got the 5 in a game misconduct. It was not an intentional hit. He came over and apologized. But Hawks were given a 5-minute power play, and not only was it killed, but it looked awful except for 2 shots. And a minute into, not even 40 seconds into that power play, it's an Ottawa shorthanded 2-on-1 goal from Connor Brown, his 8th of the season from Formenton, to make it 1-0. And Gustafsson hit the post. They were passing too much, and just too much passing. And then Sanford laid out Doc. Taze drops the gloves after that and fights. Taze and Sanford both were throwing punches. I'll give credit to Taze. And Holden had a good clear. Formenton nearly has a shorthanded break. And then after the fight at 11:14, it's a Chicago penalty to Taze for interference, which was served by Kubalik because he serves all the penalties. It was killed, but the question is why Taze got a penalty for interference there, as it really wasn't interference. It didn't hit him. He fought him, but anyway. So Fleury, good save on a deflection. Strome, good hit on Shabbat. Doc hit the post, so the Hawks have 2 posts in the first period. Kachuk wants to fight Hagel. Hagel refuses. At 5:53, it's an Ottawa goal to Thomas Shabbat. Absolute laser. He slap shot it from right in between the hash marks. And it's unassisted. His 6th of the season. It makes it 2-0. And the Hawks ended the period on the attack for the last 5 minutes. I'll give them credit. They looked much better after it was 2-0. And then Johnson was hit in the ear or something with a puck from a Kubalik chip. You wouldn't see him, he would not return for the rest of the game, which he's in concussion protocol, and Murphy probably is in concussion protocol. And Johnson, who just came back from disc replacement surgery, is already gone. It's been a bad year for Johnson, health-wise, that is. We go to the second period where at 19:02, so 58 seconds in, it's a Chicago goal from Jonathan Taze, his 6th of the season from Kane to make it 2-1. So Kane, good old Taze and Kane connection. And Kane then, with that point, passes Bobby Hull for second all-time on the Blackhawks and Blackhawks points in history. So good for him. Then it's 18:55. It's an Ottawa penalty to Stützle for high sticking. It's a vicious chop on Hagel. I don't know why Stützle thought he was going to get away with that. It was like 2-handed slash on Hagel. And Kane had a near break. Kane to Taze again leads to 17:21. Chicago power play goal from Jonathan Taze. His 2nd of the game, 7th of the season from Kane and Gustafsson to make it 2-2. So the game's a tie game 3 minutes into the second period. And Fleury made a great save. Otto was pressing near the halfway point. Hagel had a good defensive play. Good save by Forsberg on Strome. Fleury, good save on another deflection. Ottawa was getting deflections. Forsberg has some good saves. Hawks 3-on-1. Lafferty's denied. And then at 10:53, it's a Chicago goal from Caleb Jones. his third of the season from Seth Jones and Hagel. Absolute snipe by him to make it 3-2. And then at 6:44, it's an Iowa penalty to Stützle for tripping, which would be killed. It wasn't a great call. DeBrincat was cross-checked in the face, and that wasn't called, so, refs. Taze was clearly tripped while going into the boards while on the power play. The Hawks fans were yelling, players were yelling. Ridiculous that it wasn't a penalty. It was the most clear penalty I've seen in ages. And Ottawa penalty expires, and they come down the ice, and 4:19, Ottawa goal to Nick Paul, his 11th of the season from Zub and Brown, Josh Brown, Connor Brown, because there's two Browns on their team, to make it 3-3. So that ties the game for a complete 8 seconds. As 8 seconds later at 4:11, it's a Chicago goal to Sam Lafferty, his third of the season from Carpenter and McCabe to make it 4-3. So Chicago has the lead going into the second period, and leading the second period as Watson has a chance missed. Prior to the goal, that's a different thing. Hawks pull the goalie with the second left, so on an offensive zone draw. So they have 6 on 5 with 1 second. See if they can snipe it on net at the end of the second. It didn't work. You go to the third, where Hagel has a big hit on Formanton. Stamen big hip check on Shabbat. McCabe goes coast to coast with the puck and just misses the post. McCabe was putting on the moves tonight. He looked like he could have been a 5-star world-class dangler the way he was moving the puck tonight. And at 11:05, it's a Chicago goal, his second of the game. Caleb Jones, his 4th of the season from Doc and McCabe to make it 5-3. So McCabe gets 2 assists tonight, well-deserved. Pretty sure I think 5 Blackhawks had multi-point nights. So good night for the team, including both Jones brothers. As at 9:56, it's a Chicago deflection goal from Dylan Strome, his 16th of the season from Kane and Seth Jones to make it 6-3. Under the radar, Strome is having a pretty good season, and people still want him gone for whatever reason. So it's reviewed for high stick, the Strome deflection, and it's easy call below the crossbar. It's a good goal, and Strome nearly gets a second, which was stopped. Fleury had a big save, and that was pretty much the end of the game. So, yeah, Hawks have a big win. They lose some guys. They lost Murphy. They lost Johnson in the first period. They are down 2-0. They come back. They win. They score 5 out of the next 6 goals. They win 6-3. Good win for the Hawks. They've been playing a lot better recently. They played well in Boston. Got the short end of the stick there. They played well against Tampa, aside from the 32 seconds that they just collapsed. And they destroyed Anaheim 8-3. And we don't talk about the Philadelphia game because that was really bad, that game. Other than that, news around the league. Rangers and Penguins swap spots again. And then Vancouver and Ducks swap. Edmonton and Vegas swap. Vegas is currently out of a playoff spot as they lost to Buffalo, they lost to Philadelphia, they lost to Pittsburgh. They're on the middle of a losing streak, and Eichel returning to Buffalo was one of the hilarious things. And yeah, I'm not going to comment on whose side I'm on, Eichel's or the Sabres fandom sides, but that doesn't matter right now. And yeah, so Vancouver, who do I want to get that final playoff spot? I want Vegas to get back into here, and I want Vancouver to take over Edmonton. Nothing against Edmonton, except I just like Calgary better. Also, Edmonton just failing with the 2 best players in the world is pretty funny, to be honest. But yeah, that's really all I have for you guys today. Heritage Classic starts in about an hour as I look at the clock right now. It's 2 o'clock Central Time. The game starts at 3 o'clock Central Time. Toronto and Buffalo play in Hamilton in an outdoor game. And so at Tim Hortons Field, might be a CFL stadium, Canadian Football Stadium, I'm not sure. But Buffalo is considered the home team, strangely enough, even though it's in Canada. But yeah, that's really all I have for you guys today, and I will see you guys next time. Goodbye.